Welcome back to episode 16 of our Gold Mining from Scratch series on the Yukon Valley 16X map. In today's episode, we're back over at the Hillside Cut as we continue expanding and growing our massive gold mining operation here in the Yukon Valley. Over the past few episodes, we've made some major upgrades to our mine as we've worked to increase the amount of pay dirt we're able to process each day. We recently completed construction of our new drive-over hopper system, which now allows our fleet of Volvo A60H rock trucks to dump pay dirt directly into our feeder hopper. From there, the pay dirt is transferred onto our conveyor system and sent directly into our $1 million Macon Industries Slucifer wash plant. This upgrade completely eliminated the need for us to stockpile pay dirt and feed the wash plant manually with our wheel loader, and has significantly improved the efficiency of our operation. Once we got the new hopper system working properly, we turned our attention toward our mining equipment. With the wash plant processing more material than ever before, our Cat 395 excavator was starting to struggle to keep up with the demand from our three Volvo A60H rock trucks. To solve that problem, we loaded up the Cat 395 and hauled it back to the dealership, where we traded it in for a brand new Volvo EC950EL excavator. The new excavator came equipped with a much larger bucket and immediately proved to be a massive upgrade to our mining operation. While we were at the dealership, we also picked up a brand new Can-Am Outlander 1000 along with a utility trailer. Up until this point, we had been hauling all of our gold concentrate around in the back of our pickup truck. But with how much concentrate we're producing now, it was becoming clear that we needed a more efficient way to transport it. The new Can-Am and trailer combination has already proven to be a great addition and has made moving concentrate from the wash plant over to the processing area much easier. After getting all of the new equipment delivered back to the Hillside Cut, we spent the rest of the day putting the Volvo EC950EL to work. The difference was noticeable almost immediately. The larger bucket allowed us to fill our rock trucks much faster, and by the end of the episode, we had mined and processed more pay dirt than ever before. Slucifer was filling up with gold concentrate at an incredible rate, and we ended up having to perform multiple cleanouts throughout the day just to keep the plant running. By the time we wrapped up the episode, we had completely filled Slucifer one final time and hauled all of the gold concentrate over to our processing area, where it was turned into gold jars and gold bars. We finished the day by clearing away the growing tailings piles around the wash plant and left ourselves with what appears to be one of the largest stockpiles of processed gold we've ever produced. To kick things off today, we're actually starting the day with another major upgrade to our mining operation. Over the past few episodes, we've invested a lot of money into improving our production capabilities with things like the new hopper feeder system, our upgraded Volvo EC950EL excavator, and the additional equipment we've brought into the mine. However, one thing that's still been missing is the actual mining camp itself. Right now, we've got plenty of heavy equipment and processing equipment, but we really don't have much infrastructure in place to support the operation. To start changing that, I purchased a brand new mobile office and hauled it all the way back to the Hillside Cut using our Kenworth T800. I've been wanting to build up the mining camp for quite a while now and add some more functionality to it, and I figured a mobile office would be the perfect place to start. Originally, I considered building a permanent office or even a full workshop, but the reality is we aren't going to be mining from the Hillside Cut forever. At some point, this cut will be mined out and we'll move on to a completely different area of the Yukon Valley. Because of that, I wanted something that could move with us. This mobile office gives us the flexibility to pack everything up, haul it to a new location, and establish a brand new mining camp whenever we're ready to open our next mine. The first thing we'll need to do today is get this office unloaded and positioned in the mining camp. I'll carefully back it into place and find a permanent spot for it before detaching it from the Kenworth. Once we get it sitting where we want it, we'll begin getting everything set up so it can actually be used. After the office is in position, I'll jump into our Ford F350 pickup truck, and we'll make another trip back across the Yukon to the local dealership, because there's still a few things we need before this office is fully operational. One thing I've noticed lately is that our mine is growing very quickly, but we don't really have any dedicated area for maintenance or repairs. We've got millions of dollars worth of equipment working every single day, and eventually things are going to break down, need servicing, or require upgrades. To help prepare for that, we'll be purchasing a variety of tools, toolboxes, and maintenance equipment that we can keep at the mining camp and use whenever we need to work on our machinery. We'll also need some of these tools immediately because the mobile office still isn't fully assembled. Before we can start using it, we need to install the leveling jacks and mount the staircases onto the side of the building so we can safely access the office itself. While we're making the trip to the dealership, I've decided it's finally time to make another upgrade that's been on my mind for several episodes now. We're going to be purchasing our fourth Volvo A60H rock truck. Ever since upgrading to the Volvo EC950EL excavator, I've noticed that we're starting to get some downtime at the excavator because the rock trucks simply can't cycle back fast enough. The new excavator loads trucks much quicker than our old Cat 395 ever could, and there are times when I'm sitting and waiting for the next truck to arrive. By adding a fourth Volvo A60H to the fleet, I'm hoping we can completely eliminate those delays and keep the excavator moving almost continuously throughout the day. Once the new truck is purchased, I'll hire a worker to drive it back to the Hillside Cut while I focus on getting all of our tools and equipment loaded onto the gooseneck trailer behind the Ford F-350. From there, we'll make the long drive back across the Yukon and return to the mining camp. Once we arrive back at the cut, we'll finally begin setting up the office. I'll grab our new DeWalt impact drill and start mounting the leveling jacks before installing both staircases. After all of that is completed, we'll be able to step inside and officially open up the first office building on our gold mine. We'll also unload all of our new toolboxes and maintenance equipment and set up a dedicated repair area right beside the office. This should give us a much more realistic and functional mining camp and provide us with a place to maintain our equipment as the operation continues to grow. After that, we'll turn our attention over to the gold processing area because our recent production increases are starting to create another bottleneck. Ever since upgrading the mine, we've been producing gold concentrate faster than ever before. Up until now, we've been running a single gold cleaning room feeding 2 gold smelters. But it's becoming increasingly clear that the cleaning room can't keep up with the amount of concentrate we're generating. To solve that problem, I'll be building a second gold cleaning room and placing it beside our second gold smelter. Once the new building is operational, each gold cleaning room will have its own dedicated smelter, which should dramatically increase our gold processing capacity and allow us to convert concentrate into gold bars much faster than before. After all of those upgrades are completed, it'll finally be time to get back to what we do best, mining gold. We'll get the new Volvo A60H integrated into the fleet, fire up all of our conveyors, and bring Slucifer back online. Then we'll climb back into the Volvo EC950EL excavator and put all of today's upgrades to the test as we continue pulling massive amounts of paid dirt out of the Hillside Cut. I've got a few more upgrades planned throughout today's episode as well. So as we work through the day, I'll continue checking in and showing you what else I've got planned for the future of this mine. For now though, let's get to work and see just how much gold we can pull out of the Hillside Cut today. If you're enjoying the Yukon Valley 16X gold mining series so far, make sure to like, drop a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up next. Well, we've now managed to get all of today's upgrades completed over at the mining camp, and I'd say everything turned out really well. We've got our new mobile office fully set up, our repair area is ready to go, and our gold processing operation has received some much-needed upgrades as well. Now that all of the improvements are in place, it's finally time to turn our attention back to the reason we're here in the first place: mining gold. Since wrapping up the upgrades, I've already fired up all of our conveyors along with the Slucifer wash plant, and everything seems to be running smoothly. That means we're ready to put all of this new equipment to work and see just how much material we can move today. One of the upgrades I'm most excited to test out is our new fourth Volvo A60H rock truck. Ever since bringing in the Volvo EC950EL excavator last episode, I've noticed that we're starting to outpace our trucking fleet. The excavator has been loading trucks so quickly that there have been several times where I've actually had to sit and wait for the next truck to arrive. With this fourth truck now added to the rotation, I'm hoping we can keep a steady stream of pay dirt moving from the Hillside Cut over to our hopper feeder system and eliminate almost all of that downtime. If everything works the way I'm hoping it will, we should be able to move more pay dirt through the plant today than ever before. Slucifer has already proven that it can handle some serious production numbers, and with the upgrades we've made over the past few episodes, I think we're finally starting to unlock the full potential of this operation. Last episode was one of our most productive mining days yet. We spent the majority of the day filling Slucifer, cleaning out concentrate, and processing gold. But instead of hauling everything into town and cashing in, we decided to hold on to all of it. Every gold bar and every gold jar we produced was added to our growing stockpile over at the processing area. That means we've now got a substantial amount of gold sitting there waiting to be sold. And by the time we finish today's mining operation, the stockpile should be even larger. The plan is to spend the majority of today focused on mining and production. I want to keep the excavator busy, keep the rock trucks moving, and keep Slucifer running at full capacity for as much of the day as possible. Then, toward the end of today's episode, we'll finally cash in on all of that hard work. We'll gather up all of the gold bars we've produced over the past 2 days of mining, load everything up, and make the trip into town to sell it all off. With how much gold we've managed to stockpile recently, I have a feeling we're about to see our biggest payday in the history of this series. So let's get back into the excavator, start moving some dirt, and see just how much gold we can add to the pile before it's finally time to cash in. We've now mined a good amount of pay dirt already today, and our new 4-truck fleet has been doing a great job keeping material moving over to the wash plant. The Volvo EC950EL has barely had any downtime at all, and that's exactly what I was hoping to see when we decided to bring in the 4th Volvo A60H rock truck. For the most part, everything has been running extremely smoothly, and we're moving more material than ever before. However, it looks like we've run into a bit of a bottleneck over at our unloading ramp. Our new hopper feeder system has been working great since we installed it, but I've noticed one small issue that's starting to create some problems. Unlike our previous hopper feeder, this new unit doesn't have any ground anchors holding it firmly in place. As the rock trucks continue dumping thousands of liters of pay dirt into it throughout the day, the hopper feeder seems to slowly shift and move around. Eventually, it moves just far enough out of position that our rock trucks can no longer properly reach the unloading trigger, and when that happens, the entire operation comes to a standstill. That's exactly what appears to have happened here. So before we can continue mining, I'm going to need to get the hopper feeder repositioned and lined back up with our unloading ramp. Long term, I'm definitely going to need to come up with a more permanent solution, because as our production continues to increase, the last thing I want is our entire mining operation being slowed down by something as simple as the hopper feeder moving out of place. Once I get the hopper feeder pushed back into the correct position, our rock trucks should be able to resume unloading, and the conveyor system can continue feeding pay dirt into Slucifer. After that, we'll head over and check in on the wash plant, because judging by the way production has been going today, I have a feeling the sluice boxes are already completely full once again. If the sluice boxes are full, I'll shut Slucifer down and begin another cleanout. We'll open up the plant and start pulling all of the buckets of gold concentrate out of the sluice boxes. Once all of the concentrate has been collected, I'll load every bucket into the utility trailer behind our Can-Am Outlander 1000, and we'll make another trip over to the mining camp. This will also be one of our first opportunities to really put the new gold processing upgrades to work. After we arrive at the mining camp, I'll unload all of the concentrate into our brand new gold cleaning room and get it processing right away. While that's running, I'll also check in on our original cleaning room and gather up any gold jars that have already been produced. From there, we'll carry those gold jars over to the smelters so they can continue being turned into gold bars while we keep mining. The goal is to keep both cleaning rooms and both smelters working continuously throughout the day so we can maximize the amount of gold we're producing before it's finally time to cash in our stockpile. Once all of the concentrate has been delivered and the processing equipment is back up and running, we'll make our way back over to Slucifer, get the wash plant fired back up, and then climb back into the Volvo EC950EL. From there, it'll be right back to loading rock trucks and moving as much pay dirt as possible, because I want to see just how much gold we can produce before the end of today's episode. Up until this point, I've been working my way through the Hillside Cut by gradually opening up a long mining face along the roadside. As we've continued pushing deeper into the cut, I've started noticing that the area is getting narrower and narrower. The road doesn't run perfectly parallel to the cut and instead angles inward as it works its way along the hillside, which means the amount of room we have to operate is slowly starting to shrink. While working in this area, I've been reading through a lot of the comments from the last few episodes, and several of you have suggested something that I think could potentially be a major improvement to our mining operation. A few people mentioned that instead of keeping the rock trucks up on top of the cut, I should try running them directly through the area that we've already excavated. The more I've thought about it, the more I think it makes a lot of sense. Right now, the excavator is sitting at the same level as the rock trucks up on higher ground. Because of that, every time I load a truck, I have to swing the bucket up above the height of the excavator and carefully dump the pay dirt into the truck. It works, but it definitely takes more time and movement. If I can get the rock trucks down into the bottom of the cut, everything changes. The excavator would be able to stay positioned up on top of the pay dirt while the trucks drive below me. Instead of lifting the bucket way up into the air every cycle, I'd simply be able to swing over and dump directly down into the truck. That should speed up every loading cycle and make the excavator much more efficient throughout the day. To make that happen, I'll need to do a little bit of earth moving first. The plan is to create a ramp on each end of the area we've already mined out. The rock trucks will enter the cut on one end, drive down onto the lower level, pull alongside the excavator to be loaded, and then continue through the cut before climbing back out on the opposite end. Once they're back on top, they'll head straight over to the hopper feeder system and unload their pay dirt just like they've been doing all along. In theory, this should create a much smoother traffic flow through the mine. The trucks will no longer need to crowd around the excavator at the top of the cut, and I'll have a much easier time loading them. It should also help us continue working deeper into the Hillside Cut as the available space becomes tighter and tighter. I haven't tested this setup yet, so there's always a chance we'll run into a few issues along the way, but on paper it seems like a really solid idea. If everything works the way I'm imagining it will, this could end up being another major upgrade to the mine without us having to spend any additional money on equipment. Sometimes the best improvements aren't buying bigger machines. Sometimes it's simply finding a more efficient way to use the equipment you already have. So before we continue mining, I'm going to spend a little bit of time reshaping the cut and building those access ramps. Once they're finished, we'll start sending the rock trucks down into the pit and see if this new system can help us move even more pay dirt through the operation. Well, our new loading system is now fully in place, and so far I'd say it's been a huge success. The rock trucks are now driving directly down into the cut and pulling up beside the excavator on the lower level while I sit up above them in the Volvo EC950EL. After running it for a little while, it's already clear that loading trucks is much easier this way. This is exactly the kind of improvement I was hoping for. As we've expanded this mine, we spent a lot of money on bigger equipment and new infrastructure, but sometimes a simple change to the way the operation is laid out can make just as much of a difference as buying another machine. We'll need to put some more hours on this setup before I know for sure, but right now it's looking like a very worthwhile upgrade. I also took some time earlier to make a few more adjustments to our hopper feeder system. Since repositioning it and making some changes to keep it lined up with the unloading ramp, everything has been running much more smoothly. The rock trucks have been unloading consistently, and I haven't seen any signs of the feeder drifting out of position again. Hopefully that means we've finally solved that issue, because the last thing I want is our entire mining operation coming to a stop every time the feeder decides to move a few inches. With both of those improvements now in place, I think we're finally operating at peak efficiency. We've got 4 Volvo A60H rock trucks cycling continuously. The Volvo EC950EL is loading faster than ever. The conveyors are running smoothly, and Slucifer has been processing pay dirt nonstop throughout the day. Speaking of Slucifer, judging by how much material we've pushed through the plant since the last cleanout, I have a feeling the sluice boxes are getting pretty close to full once again. Production has been absolutely incredible today, and if things continue at this pace, we should have another massive batch of gold concentrate waiting for us very soon. So for now, we're going to keep our foot on the gas and continue mining. I'll stay in the excavator, keep the trucks loaded, and see just how much more pay dirt we can process before Slucifer finally fills up. Once the sluice boxes reach capacity, we'll shut the plant down once again and get ready for another cleanout. With the amount of material we're moving today, I have a feeling this next cleanup could be one of the biggest we've had yet. Now that we've completed our second clean out of Slucifer for the day and hauled all of the concentrate over to our gold processing area, I want to take a quick break from mining and make another upgrade that I think is going to save us a tremendous amount of time moving forward. If you've been following the series closely, you may have noticed that I actually made a small change off camera between episodes. I increased the trigger areas outside of both of our gold cleaning rooms. Before making that change, every single bucket of gold concentrate had to be unloaded by hand and carried over individually to the cleaning rooms. With the amount of concentrate we're producing now, that process was becoming very time-consuming. After increasing those trigger areas, we're now able to back the utility trailer directly up beside the cleaning rooms and unload all of the concentrate straight from the trailer. That one small adjustment has already saved a huge amount of time, especially now that we're filling Slucifer multiple times per day. But after watching how well that upgrade worked, it got me thinking about the rest of our gold processing operation, and I think we can take things one step further. I'm going to grab the new DeWalt impact drill and make a few modifications to our trailers. Specifically, I'm going to be adding an auto load system to both our utility trailer and our gooseneck trailer. The utility trailer is going to be the biggest improvement. Right now, after the gold cleaning rooms process all of the concentrate, we're left with dozens of gold jars that have to be picked up one by one and carried over to the smelters. It works, but it's becoming a pretty major bottleneck now that we're producing so much gold concentrate every day. With the auto-load system installed, we'll be able to simply pull the utility trailer up beside the cleaning rooms and automatically load all of the gold jars onto the trailer. From there, we'll drive over to the smelters and unload everything directly into them. That completely eliminates the need to manually carry each individual gold jar across the processing area and should dramatically speed up our workflow. The gooseneck trailer is getting the same treatment as well. Up until now, when it came time to sell our gold bars, we've had to spend quite a bit of time loading them onto the trailer. As our production continues to increase, that's only going to become more of a challenge. By adding auto load to the gooseneck trailer, we'll be able to pull up beside our gold bar storage area and quickly load all of the bars onto the trailer whenever we're ready to head into town and cash in our gold. Considering we're planning on hauling one of our biggest gold stockpiles ever into town later today, this upgrade should save us a lot of time almost immediately. What's really nice about these upgrades is that they're not increasing our gold production directly, but they're making every step of the operation more efficient. Over the last few episodes, we've focused heavily on producing more pay dirt and processing more material. Now we're starting to optimize everything that happens after the gold leaves the ground. The more time we can save handling concentrate, gold jars, and gold bars, the more time we can spend actually mining. And at the end of the day, that's what makes the mine more profitable. Well, we put in a massive day of mining, and I'd say all of the upgrades we've made today have been paying off. The fourth Volvo A60H rock truck has kept material moving consistently. Our new loading system in the cut is working great, and all of the improvements we've made around the mining camp have really helped streamline the operation. At this point, we've completely filled Slucifer 3 separate times today, which is pretty incredible considering how much pay dirt we've processed. Before we wrap up the day though, we've got one final clean out to take care of. I'll shut the plant down, pull out all of the remaining gold concentrate, and then we'll haul it over to our gold processing area. Once all of the concentrate is delivered, we'll gather up all of the gold bars we produce throughout the day and get everything loaded onto our gooseneck trailer. We've spent the last 2 days stockpiling gold instead of selling it, so now it's finally time to cash in. With how much gold we've managed to produce recently, I have a feeling we're about to see the biggest payday in the history of this series. Let's get everything loaded up and head into town to find out just how much all of this gold is worth. What a day it's been here at the Hillside Cut. Just a few minutes ago, we finally loaded up all of the gold bars that we've been stockpiling over the past couple of episodes and made the trip into town to cash everything in. After all of that hard work, the payoff was absolutely worth it as we managed to bring in over $2 million from selling our gold bars. That's by far one of the biggest paydays we've had in this entire series, and it's a great sign that all of the upgrades we've been making are starting to pay for themselves. What's even more exciting is that we didn't sell everything. While we were busy hauling gold bars into town, both of our gold cleaning rooms and smelters continued working away back at the mining camp. The mine is definitely growing quickly now, and that's starting to reveal a few new challenges that we'll need to tackle moving forward. One area that I've admittedly been neglecting is our tailings management. We've been so focused on increasing production that I haven't spent nearly enough time dealing with all of the coarse and fine tailings coming out of Slucifer. At this point, those piles are starting to get pretty large, and we're slowly running out of room to store them. Because of that, I think tailings are going to be the next major focus of our operation. Before we continue expanding production much further, we need to come up with a better system for handling all of the waste material that we're producing. If we don't stay ahead of it, it's eventually going to start getting in the way of the rest of the mine. Next episode, we'll pick up right where we left off today and continue pushing this operation even harder. I want to keep putting all of these new upgrades to work, keep Slucifer running at full capacity, and see just how much gold we can pull out of the Hillside Cut now that everything is finally working together. At the same time, we'll start looking at ways to improve our tailings operation and make sure the mine can continue growing without running into space issues. For now, though, I'd say this was a very successful day. We brought in over $2 million, expanded the mining camp, upgraded our processing operation, added another rock truck to the fleet, and continued producing more gold than ever before. As always, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let me know in the comments what upgrade you'd like to see next here at the Hillside Cut. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Welcome back to episode 17 of our Gold Mining from Scratch series here in Yukon Valley. In today's episode, we'll be continuing to expand our growing gold mining operation as we put the over $2 million payday from the last episode to work and continue pushing for even more gold production. Over the past few episodes, we've made some major upgrades to our mine. In the last episode alone, we brought in a brand new mobile office and created a dedicated repair area at our mining camp so we can maintain and upgrade our equipment right on site. We also expanded our mining fleet by purchasing a fourth Volvo A60H rock truck, which helped keep a constant flow of paid dirt moving from the Hillside Cut over to our hopper feeder system in Slucifer. On top of that, we expanded our gold processing operation by building a second gold cleaning room and pairing it with our second gold smelter. This allowed us to process more gold concentrate than ever before while keeping up with the increasing amount of material coming out of our wash plant. Once all of the upgrades were completed, we spent the majority of the day mining pay dirt from the Hillside Cut and making several improvements to the operation. We redesigned our loading area to make loading rock trucks more efficient and also upgraded our trailers with auto-load systems to streamline the movement of gold jars and gold bars around the mining camp. After filling up Slucifer multiple times and producing a huge amount of gold concentrate, we finally loaded up all of the gold bars we've been stockpiling and headed into town for our biggest payday yet. By the end of the day, we sold all of our gold bars and brought in over $2 million, leaving us with plenty of money to continue expanding and improving our gold mining operation. To kick things off today, we're finally going to tackle a problem that I've been putting off for far too long here at the Hillside Cut, and that's our tailing situation. Over the past several episodes, we've been making upgrade after upgrade to our mining operation. We brought in a fourth Volvo A60H rock truck, expanded our gold processing facilities, improved our mining camp, and continued finding ways to make the entire operation more efficient. All of those improvements have dramatically increased the amount of pay dirt we're running through Slucifer every single day, which has been great for gold production, but it's also created a pretty major problem. The more material we process, the more tailings we produce, and right now those tailings are starting to pile up faster than ever before. Every time we fire up Slucifer, we're producing mountains of fine and coarse tailings, and up until now, I've basically just been letting them accumulate around the wash plant. What started as a small pile is quickly turning into a major obstacle, and if we don't deal with it soon, we're eventually going to run out of room around the wash plant altogether. Before we continue expanding our production any further, I think it's time to finally solve this problem properly. I've spent quite a bit of time thinking about different ways we could handle the tailings, and I think I've finally come up with a long-term solution. The idea is to build a proper runoff pond directly in front of Slucifer that will not only look more realistic, but should also completely eliminate our tailings storage problem moving forward. However, to make this plan work, we're going to have to completely rearrange the area around the wash plant, and that means one thing: Slucifer itself is going to have to be moved. Moving a wash plant this size isn't exactly a small task. Slucifer is one of the largest and most important pieces of equipment on the entire mine, and currently we don't have anything powerful enough to safely reposition it. The winch on the back of our Kenworth T800 has been useful for smaller jobs around the mine, but it's nowhere near powerful enough to move something as large and heavy as Slucifer. So before we can begin construction on the new pond, we're going to need a new piece of equipment. I'll be starting the day by heading into town and making a trip to the local dealership, where I'll be purchasing a brand new heavy-duty winch system. This winch is specifically designed to be mounted onto the back of our Cat D7 dozer and should provide more than enough pulling power to move the wash plant around the site. Once the new winch is purchased, I'll get it loaded onto our gooseneck trailer, secure everything down, and then we'll make the drive back across the Yukon to the Hillside Cut. When we arrive back at the mine, I'll unload the winch and get it mounted onto the back of the Cat D7. After making sure everything is secured properly, we'll head over to the wash plant and begin preparing the area for construction. Before we move Slucifer, I'll need to spend some time clearing equipment out of the way. I already took care of a large portion of the tailings piles off camera using the Volvo L260 wheel loader, but we'll still need to move a few things around. The wheel loader itself will need to be parked safely out of the work area, and I'll also need to clear off and fold up the radial stacker conveyor. Since we're going to be pulling Slucifer back toward the conveyor while we build the pond, I don't want to risk damaging either piece of equipment. Once everything is moved out of the way, it'll finally be time for the main event. I'll attach the new winch to Slucifer and begin carefully pulling the wash plant backward to create enough room for our excavation work. The goal is to move it far enough away that we can completely reshape the ground underneath and in front of the sluice boxes without interfering with the rest of the operation. After Slucifer has been moved, we'll begin excavating the new runoff pond. I want this pond to be large enough to cover the entire area where both the fine and coarse tailings are discharged. That means we'll be lowering a significant section of ground and widening it out so that it stretches from the fine tailings discharge all the way over to where the coarse tailings are normally deposited. Once the excavation work is complete, we'll have a much larger and more realistic area for the wash plant runoff to flow into. From there, we'll move on to what will probably be the most challenging part of the project, putting Slucifer back into position. I'll use the Cat D7 and the new winch system to slowly work the wash plant back into place and get it lined up exactly where we want it. This may take a few attempts, and I may have to reposition the winch several times before everything is perfectly aligned. But once we get it back where it belongs, we'll be able to finish the pond and complete the entire project. To make sure the tailings never become a problem again, I've also decided to install cell points at the bottom of the pond. If everything works the way I'm hoping, both the fine and coarse tailings will automatically be sold off as they enter the pond, effectively eliminating the need for tailings storage altogether. Once the cell points are installed, we'll fill the pond with water, reconnect everything, and then fire up Slucifer for a full test run. If all goes according to plan, by the end of today's episode, we'll have completely solved one of the biggest problems currently facing our mine, and we'll have a much cleaner, more efficient operation that's ready to handle even more gold production in the future. If you're enjoying the Yukon Valley 16X gold mining series so far, make sure to like, drop a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up next. Well, we've made some great progress on the project so far. The new runoff pond has now been dug out, and after quite a bit of maneuvering, we managed to get Slucifer moved back into what we thought was the perfect position. Unfortunately, after unfolding our radial stacker conveyor and starting to put everything back together, it looks like we're still not quite lined up the way we need to be. At the moment, Slucifer is sitting just a little too far forward, and because of that, the radial stacker conveyor isn't able to properly discharge pay dirt into the hopper. Thankfully, we're very close, but before we can start mining again, I'll need to make a few more adjustments and pull Slucifer backwards just a little bit farther. The last thing I want to do is fire everything up and realize we're losing material because the conveyor isn't lined up correctly. Once I get Slucifer repositioned and everything is feeding into the wash plant properly again, we should finally be ready to finish off this entire tailings project. The next step will be installing the cell points in the bottom of the pond. After looking over the wash plant, I've determined that we'll actually need 3 separate cell points. Slucifer has 2 locations where fine tailings are discharged and 1 location where coarse tailings are extracted. So placing 3 cell points should ensure we capture all of the material coming out of the plant. After the cell points are installed, we'll move on to what should be the final stage of the project, and that's filling the pond with water. Once the water is added, everything should finally be in place and ready for testing. At that point, we'll fire Slucifer back up, start feeding pay dirt through the system once again, and see if our new tailings pond works the way we've been hoping. If everything goes according to plan, this should completely solve our tailings problem and give us a much cleaner and more efficient mining operation moving forward. Well, I'd say the tailings project was a success. Our new runoff pond is now fully operational, and after running Slucifer through a quick test, everything appears to be working exactly the way we hoped. The wash plant is processing material normally. Our conveyor system is feeding properly once again, and best of all, the tailings are now being sold off automatically as they're discharged from Slucifer. That means we no longer have to worry about massive piles of fine and coarse tailings building up around the wash plant and taking up valuable space around the mine. Now that we've confirmed everything is working correctly, we'll start getting some of our equipment moved back into place. I'll begin by driving the Cat D7 dozer back over to the mining camp and getting it parked up for now. From there, I'll fire up the Can-Am Outlander 1000 and bring it in the utility trailer back over to the wash plant area, so they're ready for our next cleanout. I'll also hop into the Volvo L260 wheel loader and get it moved back over to the mining camp as well. Up until now, that loader has spent a lot of time dealing with tailings, but with our new system in place, we really won't have much use for it around the wash plant anymore. Once all of the equipment is put away, we're actually going to take a short break from the physical work and step inside our new mobile office because there's something else I'd like to take care of today. Over the past several episodes, our mining operation has been generating a lot of gold and bringing in some very respectable paydays. However, while the mine has been making money, we've also accumulated a fair amount of debt from all of the equipment purchases and upgrades we made when we first opened up the Hillside Cut. At the moment, we're still carrying over $1,700,000 worth of debt from previous equipment purchases, and every month we're continuing to make payments while interest slowly adds up. After our massive gold sale in the last episode, we finally have enough money sitting in the bank to wipe out all of that debt in one shot. So before we make any more major investments into the mine, I'd like to head into the office, go over the finances, and completely pay off everything we still owe. Not only will that put us back in a much stronger financial position, but it'll also save us a significant amount of money in interest payments moving forward. Once the paperwork is taken care of and all of our debt is finally cleared, it'll be time to get back to what we do best, mining gold. We'll begin firing up our fleet of Volvo A60H rock trucks and getting the haul road moving once again. Then I'll climb back into the Volvo excavator and start loading paved dirt into the trucks so they can haul it over to the hopper feeder system. From there, the material will make its way through Slucifer. Our sluice boxes will begin filling up with gold concentrate, and we'll continue working toward our next big payday here at the Hillside Cut. I have to say, I've been really impressed with how well our new loading system has been working. In the last episode, one spent some time reshaping the Hillside Cut and built 2 ramps that allow our rock trucks to drive down into the lower portion of the excavation, while I keep the excavator positioned up on top of the pay dirt. At first, I wasn't sure how much of a difference it would make, but after running it for a while now, it's turned out to be one of the best upgrades we've made to the mine. Being able to load the trucks from above means I don't have to constantly swing the excavator as high or reposition the machine nearly as often. I can sit in one location for much longer and reach a much larger area of the cut, which keeps material moving much more efficiently. On top of that, adding our 4th Volvo A60H rock truck to the fleet has really helped keep the operation flowing smoothly. It seems like there's almost always a truck waiting to be loaded now, which means I'm spending less time waiting around and more time actually moving pay dirt. Between the new truck routes, the additional rock truck, and all of the upgrades we've made over the past few episodes, I honestly think this mining operation is running better than it ever has before. We're moving a tremendous amount of material through the plant, and it's definitely starting to show in our gold production. Speaking of production, judging by the amount of material we've mined so far today, I'm thinking Slucifer is probably getting close to another cleanout. The plant has been running almost non-stop, and from the looks of things, our sluice boxes may already be packed full of gold concentrate once again. So before we continue mining, let's head over and check in on the wash plant. I'll get Slucifer shut down and we'll open up the cleanout so we can pull out all of the buckets of gold concentrate. Thankfully, our Can-Am Outlander 1000 is already sitting nearby with the utility trailer attached. So once all of the buckets are removed, we'll get them loaded up and hauled back over to the mining camp. From there, we'll unload everything into our gold cleaning rooms and check in on the rest of our gold processing operation. While we're over there, I'll also take a look at both gold cleaning rooms and see how much progress they've made. If we've got any completed gold jars waiting for us, we'll get those transferred over to the smelters so we can continue producing more gold bars while we're busy mining. Then once everything is unloaded and the processing equipment is back to work, we'll hop back into the Can-Am, head over to Slucifer, and get the wash plant fired back up so we can continue pushing more pay dirt through the system and working toward our next big payday. Well, it looks like we've managed to fill up Slucifer once again. I've noticed that the tailings have stopped being discharged from the plant, which is usually a pretty good sign that our sluice boxes are completely full of gold concentrate. That means it's time to take another short break from mining and head over to the wash plant so we can perform our second clean out of the day. Honestly, it's pretty incredible how much material we're processing now compared to when we first started mining here at the Hillside Cut. Over the past few episodes, we've made a huge number of upgrades to the operation, and they're all starting to work together really well. Between the fourth Volvo A60H rock truck, the improvements to our loading system, the upgrades to our processing facilities, and all of the changes we've made around the mine, we're moving more pay dirt through Slucifer than ever before. It's also becoming very noticeable in the cut itself. For the first time since we opened up this section of the mine, it really feels like we're starting to make some serious progress. Every time I look back across the excavation, the walls seem a little farther away, and the amount of material we've removed is becoming more and more apparent. Having the massive Volvo excavator out here has made a huge difference as well. With every bucket, we're able to move a tremendous amount of pay dirt, and we're working our way through this deposit much faster than we ever could have with our previous setup. For now, though, let's get Slucifer cleaned out and keep the gold production moving. I'll pull all of the buckets of concentrate out of the sluice boxes, get them loaded into the utility trailer, and haul everything back over to our gold cleaning rooms. Once the concentrate is unloaded and the processing equipment is back to work, we'll head straight back to the wash plant and fire Slucifer back up. I'd like to see if we can fill the sluice boxes one more time before we wrap up today's episode. One thing I've also been thinking about lately is our next gold sale. We sold off a huge amount of gold in the last episode and brought in over $2 million, but this time I'm considering doing something a little different. We've now moved into the month of November, and instead of selling our gold immediately, I think it might be interesting to continue stockpiling everything we produce and see just how much gold we can mine over the course of an entire month. With the rate we're currently mining, we could be setting ourselves up for an absolutely massive payday. We're also getting closer and closer to the end of our first year here in Yukon Valley. Once we reach December, it won't be long before winter starts moving in and the snow begins to fall. When that happens, we'll eventually have to shut the operation down and wait for spring before we can resume mining. So before winter arrives, I'd really like to keep pushing production and see just how much gold we can pull out of the Hillside Cut before the season comes to an end. I'd say today was a huge success for our mining operation. We finally tackled one of the biggest problems that have been building up around the mine, and that was our tailing situation. After spending the first part of the day moving Slucifer, excavating our new runoff pond, and getting everything repositioned, we were able to get the entire system back up and running. Best of all, our tailings are now being sold off automatically as they leave the wash plant, which means we no longer have to worry about massive piles of material building up around the operation and taking up valuable space. On top of that, we also took some time to get our finances in order. Thanks to the massive gold sale from the last episode, we had enough money available to completely pay off all of our remaining equipment debt. That means moving forward, every ounce of gold we produce is going to go directly toward expanding the mine and growing the operation rather than making payments on equipment. Once all of that was taken care of, we spent the rest of the day doing what we do best, mining gold. The new loading system continues to work incredibly well. Our 4 Volvo A60H rock trucks have been keeping material moving steadily, and we managed to fill up Slucifer 3 separate times throughout today's episode. Every time we cleaned out the sluice boxes, we ended up hauling more gold concentrate back to the mining camp and keeping both of our gold cleaning rooms and gold smelters running at full capacity. As we're ending today's episode, we'll haul this final load of gold concentrate back to the mining camp. And while we're there, we'll also top off our gold smelters with the latest batch of gold jars. That means we're continuing to build up a pretty substantial stockpile of gold. And for now, I'm planning on holding on to all of it. With how much material we're processing lately, I'm really curious to see how much gold we can accumulate over the course of an entire month before making another sale. Next episode, we'll continue pushing the Hillside Cut even harder. Now that our tailings problem has been solved and all of our debt has been paid off, the mine is running more efficiently than ever before. We'll keep expanding the cut, continue filling up Slucifer, and see just how much gold we can produce before winter eventually arrives here in Yukon Valley. As always, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let me know down in the comments what upgrades you'd like to see next here at the gold mine. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 18 of our Gold Mining from Scratch series here in Yukon Valley. In the last episode, we tackled one of the biggest problems facing our mining operation as we finally dealt with the massive amount of tailings that have been piling up around our wash plant. Over the past several episodes, we've dramatically increased our gold production with additional rock trucks, improvements to our loading system, and upgrades to our processing facilities. But all of that extra production created a new challenge as the tailings just kept building up around Slucifer. To solve the problem, we spent the first half of the episode completely redesigning the area around our wash plant. We brought in the Cat D7 dozer equipped with its new winch system, moved Slucifer out of position, and excavated a brand new settling pond. Once the pond was complete, we repositioned the wash plant, installed a series of cell points, and filled the pond with water. After firing everything back up, the new system worked perfectly, and our tailings are now automatically sold off as they're discharged from the wash plant. We also took some time to get our finances in order by paying off more than $1,700,000 worth of equipment debt. Thanks to the massive gold sales we've had recently, we were able to completely eliminate all of our outstanding payments, which puts the mine in a much stronger financial position moving forward. After all the upgrades were finished, we spent the rest of the episode doing what we do best, mining gold. Our 4 Volvo A60H rock trucks kept material moving steadily from the Hillside Cut, while the Volvo excavator continued digging deeper into the cut. By the end of the day, we managed to completely fill Slucifer 3 separate times, hauled multiple loads of gold concentrate back to the mining camp, and kept both of our gold cleaning rooms and gold smelters running at full capacity. As we begin today's episode, the mine is running better than it ever has before. The tailings problem has been solved, all of our debt has been paid off, and we're producing more gold than ever. Now it's time to see just how much gold we can pull out of the Hillside Cut before winter eventually arrives here in Yukon Valley. To kick things off today, we're actually going to spend a little bit of time improving and cleaning up our mining operation before we dive back into another full day of gold mining. Just before the start of today's episode, one made a trip into town and picked up this brand new Karcher mobile pressure washer. This should make it much easier to keep our equipment clean and maintain moving forward, especially now that our operation is growing so quickly. Before we can put it to work though, we'll need to get it prepared for its first day on the job. I'll start by bringing it down to the nearby creek so we can fill the water tank. Then we'll stop by our bulk fuel tank and top it off with diesel. Once that's done, we'll officially have a fully mobile washing station that can be taken anywhere around the mine. After the pressure washer is ready to go, we'll start making our way around the Hillside Cut and begin cleaning up some of our hardest working equipment. The first machines on the list are our fleet of 4 Volvo A60H rock trucks. These trucks have been hauling non-stop lately, carrying thousands of tons of pay dirt from the excavation area over to our hopper feeder system, and they're absolutely coated in mud from all of the traffic moving in and out of the cut. Once the trucks are cleaned up, I'll move over to our Volvo EC950 excavator. This machine is the heart of our entire operation and has spent countless hours digging pay dirt from the cut, so it definitely deserves a good wash as well. From there, we'll head over to Slucifer and give the wash plant some attention. Over the past few episodes, we've been filling the sluice boxes multiple times per day, and the wash plant has been working harder than ever. Between the water, mud, and tailings, it's gotten pretty dirty, and I'd like to clean it up before we continue pushing it through the remainder of the season. Once Slucifer is looking good again, we'll make our way back to the mining camp and wash down any remaining equipment around the yard so the entire operation is cleaned up and ready for another busy stretch of mining. Once everything is washed up, we'll turn our attention to another project that's been on my mind recently. A few episodes ago, we completely changed the way we load rock trucks inside the Hillside Cut by building the 2 ramps that allow the trucks to drive down into the excavation while I keep the excavator position up on top of the pay dirt. This system has worked incredibly well and has made loading trucks much faster and more efficient. But it's also created a new issue. As we've continued mining, we've been leaving behind small piles and ridges of pay dirt throughout the cut. They're not a huge problem yet, but they're starting to make it a bit more difficult for our truck drivers to navigate around the excavation area, and I'd like to get everything cleaned up before it gets any worse. To do that, I'll fire up our Cat D7 dozer and head down into the Hillside Cut. Once I get the machine configured with our land surveying equipment, we'll be able to set a target elevation and begin leveling the entire floor of the cut. The goal is to smooth everything out, push any leftover piles of pay dirt over toward areas we still plan to excavate, and create a much cleaner and safer work area for both the rock trucks and the excavator. Not only should this improve traffic flow around the mine, but should also help ensure we don't leave any valuable pay dirt behind. After the cut has been cleaned up and leveled off, we'll bring the Cat D7 back to the mining camp and get it parked out of the way. From there, we'll detach the mobile pressure washer from the Can-Am Outlander 1000, and then it'll finally be time to get back to mining gold. We'll head back over Slucifer, fire up the conveyors, start the wash plant, and get our fleet of rock trucks moving once again. We're getting closer and closer to winter here in Yukon Valley, and that means every mining day is becoming more important. Before long, the temperatures are going to start dropping. Snow will begin moving into the region, and eventually we'll be forced to shut the operation down until spring. My goal from now until the end of November is to continue stockpiling every ounce of gold we produce and avoid selling any of it. By the time winter arrives, I'm hoping we'll have accumulated enough gold for one absolutely massive end-of-season payday. It should also give us a chance to see just how much gold a fully upgraded mining operation can produce in a single month. So let's get this mine cleaned up, get Slucifer fired back up, and see just how much gold we can pull out of the Hillside Cut before winter finally arrives in Yukon Valley. If you're enjoying the Yukon Valley 16X gold mining series so far, make sure to like, drop a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up next. Now that we got all of our equipment washed up and the Hillside Cut cleaned up with the Cat D7 dozer, it's finally time to get back to the reason we're all here, mining gold. The mine is looking better than it ever has before, and after spending the morning improving and organizing the operation, we're ready to put all of that equipment back to work. The first thing I'll do is head back over to Slucifer and get the entire wash plant fired back up. We'll get the conveyors running, start feeding material through the plant, and make sure everything is operating properly after being shut down while we worked on the cleanup. Once Slucifer is processing paid dirt again, I'll begin firing up all 4 of our Volvo A60H rock trucks and get our hired workers back into position. Before long, the trucks should once again be making their way down into the cut, lining up beside the excavator and waiting to be loaded with fresh pay dirt. From there, I'll climb back into the Volvo EC950 excavator and we'll begin digging once again. Over the past few episodes, we've made a lot of progress working along this section of the Hillside Cut, and we're actually getting very close to reaching the end of the area I've been excavating from. I'll need to be a little careful as we finish this section because I don't want to remove the ramp or damage the path our rock trucks are currently using to get in and out of the cut. Things will be a bit tighter than usual for the first little while. But if we take our time, we should be able to clean up the remainder of this section without causing any issues. Once I've removed the last of the paid dirt from this area, it'll be time for a bigger move. I'll reposition the excavator all the way over to the far side of the cut and begin opening up an entirely new section of ground. Since the loading location will be changing, I'll also need to adjust our auto drive routes so the rock trucks can reach the new excavation area efficiently and continue cycling between the cut and the hopper feeder system without interruption. After that, everything should be back in place and running at full capacity. With 4 rock trucks hauling, Slucifer processing material, and the excavator opening up fresh ground, we'll be in a great position to keep moving huge amounts of pay dirt and continue building toward what I'm hoping will be a massive end-of-season gold payday before winter arrives here in Yukon Valley. Well, I think that's about as far as I want to push this section of the cut for now. Things got a little tight toward the end there as we worked our way right up against the edge of a truck ramp. I wanted to remove as much paved dirt as possible before moving on to the next section, but at the same time, I didn't want to risk damaging the ramp or making it difficult for our rock trucks to get in and out of the cut. There were definitely a few moments where I had to really stretch the reach of the Volvo EC950 just to load the trucks, but overall I'd say everything went pretty smoothly and we managed to recover a lot of paved dirt from this area. I do plan on coming back and mining all of the paved dirt that's currently making up our ramps and haul roads, but for now I want to keep those areas intact. My main focus is excavating all of the paved dirt from the middle of the Hillside Cut first. Once we've worked our way through the center of the cut and removed the bulk of the material, then we'll come back and start taking out the ramps, roadways, and the paved dirt we've left around the outer edges for the rock trucks to travel on. That should make it much easier to keep traffic moving efficiently while we're still doing the majority of our mining. Now that this section is mostly mined out, it's time to move on to some fresh ground. I'll get the excavator repositioned over to our next starting point on the far side of the cut and begin setting up for the next stage of excavation. Since our loading location is changing, I'll also need to spend a few minutes creating a brand new auto drive route for the rock trucks. The plan is to have them drive through the area we just excavated and use it as a haul road so they can reach the excavator at its new location as quickly and efficiently as possible. Once the new route is finished, I'll get all 4 of our Volvo A60H rock trucks switched over and put the hired workers back behind the wheel. After a quick test run to make sure everything is working correctly, we should be ready to get back to mining at full capacity. With 4 rock trucks hauling, Slucifer processing pay dirt, and the excavator opening up another section of the Hillside Cut, we'll be in a great position to keep pushing toward a massive end-of-season gold payday before winter finally arrives here in Yukon Valley. Well, everything is now set up and running smoothly over at the new section of the Hillside Cut. The rock trucks seem to be handling the updated auto drive route without any issues, and it's honestly nice to have some room to work again. Toward the end of the last section, things were getting pretty cramped as we work around the ramp and haul roads. But now that we've moved into a fresh area of the cut, the operation feels a lot more open and efficient once again. Before we get too carried away though, it looks like Slucifer has done its job once again. The wash plant has been processing a huge amount of pay dirt today, and it appears the sluice boxes are already full, which means it's time for another gold cleanup. We'll take a quick break from excavation and head over to the wash plant to temporarily shut everything down and open up the cleanout system. Once the plant is shut down, I'll begin pulling out all of the buckets of gold concentrate that have accumulated inside the sluice boxes. It's always exciting getting to this stage because this is where all of the hard work from the excavator, rock trucks, and wash plant finally starts turning into gold. After all of the buckets are removed, we'll get them loaded onto the utility trailer behind our Can-Am Outlander 1000 and haul everything across the road to our gold processing facilities. While we're over at the gold cleaning rooms, I'll get all of the fresh concentrate unloaded so it can begin working its way through the next stage of processing. I'll also take a minute to check in on the progress of our gold production, because by now our cleaning rooms should have produced another batch of gold jars. Any jars that are ready will get loaded up and transferred over to our gold smelters, so we can keep the production line moving and continue building up our stockpile of gold bars. Once everything is unloaded and the processing facilities are topped back up with material, we'll head straight back over to Slucifer, get the wash plant fired back up, and continue mining as much gold as possible before winter arrives here in Yukon Valley. While everything seems to be running incredibly smoothly here at the Hillside Cut once again, I have to say it's really satisfying to sit back in the excavator and watch the entire operation working the way it's supposed to after all of the time and effort we've put into improving it over the past several episodes. Between the new loading system, the settling pond, the additional rock trucks, and the upgrades we've made around the mine, things are running better than they ever have before. The rock trucks are cycling through the cut efficiently. Slucifer is processing huge amounts of pay dirt, and with this massive Volvo EC950 excavator, we're finally starting to make a serious dent in the Hillside Cut itself. It's actually pretty amazing to compare where we are now to where we started this series. Back then, we were running much smaller equipment and moving a fraction of the material we're capable of moving today. Now we're mining more pay dirt than ever before, and every time I look around the cut, it's becoming more obvious just how much ground we've managed to excavate. Another thing that's been on my mind lately is where we go from here. Last episode, we paid off all of our debt, which means for the first time in a long time, we're not carrying any major equipment payments. On top of that, we're currently working toward what could be our biggest payday yet at the end of November when we finally sell off all of the gold we've been stockpiling. That means we're going to have a lot of options available to us moving forward. One thing I've been considering is adding a fifth rock truck to the fleet. For the most part, these 4 Volvo A60Hs are doing a great job keeping up with the excavator, and most of the time, I have a truck waiting beside me ready to be loaded. But every once in a while, I still find myself waiting a few seconds for the next truck to arrive. It's not a huge issue, but when you're moving this much material, those small delays can start to add up over time. A fifth truck might be enough to keep the excavator busy almost non-stop. I've also been thinking about something much bigger, a second wash plant. Imagine having 2 wash plants running at the same time with separate unloading locations. The rock trucks could still come to the same excavator for loading, but once they leave, they could split off and haul material to different processing plants. That would dramatically increase the amount of pay dirt we could process each day and potentially double our gold production. The biggest question is whether we have enough room here at the Hillside Cut to make something like that work. We may need to clear more land first, or possibly save that idea for a future mining operation. That leads into another question I've been thinking about while sitting here in the excavator. Once we finish mining out this section of the Hillside Cut, what comes next? Do we move Slucifer and continue stripping the upper section of the hillside? Or do we pack up the entire operation and start prospecting for a completely new piece of land where we can build an even larger mine from the ground up? If we open a bigger mining site that could give us enough room to eventually run 2 or maybe even 3 wash plants at the same time. Those are all decisions for another day, but they're definitely things I've been thinking about while watching these rock trucks cycle through the mine. I'd love to hear what you guys think down in the comments. Should we expand this operation with more trucks and another wash plant? Keep focusing on the Hillside Cut, or start planning for an even bigger mine somewhere else in Yukon Valley? Well, it looks like Slucifer is completely full once again, and that's now the second time today that we've managed to fill the sluice boxes with gold concentrate. That's a pretty good sign that all of the upgrades we've made to this operation are paying off, because we're processing more pay dirt than ever before, and it's really started to show in our gold production. I'll head over and shut the wash plant down for another cleanup. Then we'll start pulling out all of the buckets of gold concentrate and getting them loaded onto the utility trailer behind our Can-Am Outlander 1000. One thing I'm going to do a little differently this time, though, is get Slucifer fired right back up before I leave. We've got several rock trucks already waiting on the ramp to unload, and the wash plant itself is still packed full of pay dirt. So there's no reason to leave everything sitting idle while we're hauling concentrate over to the mining camp. By the time we return, Slucifer should already be processing another batch of material and working toward filling the sluice boxes for a third time today. Over at the mining camp, we should have a pretty impressive stockpile of gold bars building up by now. Every time we clean out the wash plant, we're delivering more concentrate to the gold cleaning rooms, which means more gold jars are being produced and fed into our smelters. It's honestly incredible how much gold this operation is producing compared to when we first started mining here in Yukon Valley. The thing I'm most excited about, though, is seeing what all of this adds up to by the end of November. We're continuing to hold on to every gold bar we produce, and with the amount of material we're processing each day, there's no doubt we're heading toward the biggest payday we've ever had in this series. The question is just how big that payday is actually going to be. Are we talking a few $1 million, or could it be even more than that? I honestly have no idea, but it's going to be a lot of fun finding out. For now, though, let's get this concentrate hauled over to the mining camp, keep the gold processing line moving, and then get right back into the excavator so we can continue pulling as much pay dirt as possible out of the Hillside Cut before winter arrives. I'd say today was another very productive day here at the Hillside Cut. We started the day by giving our entire mining operation a much-needed cleanup, getting all of our equipment washed up and looking almost brand new again. We also spent some time improving the cut itself by using the Cat D7 dozer to level out the excavation area and clean up a lot of the leftover piles of pay dirt that were making it more difficult for our rock trucks to navigate around the mine. After that, it was right back to business as usual as we fired Slucifer back up and continued pushing huge amounts of pay dirt through the wash plant. We also managed to move the excavator into a brand new section of the Hillside Cut and created a new haul route for our 4 Volvo A60H rock trucks. Once everything was set up, the operation really seemed to hit its stride and things have been running smoother than ever. One thing that really stood out to me today was just how much gold we're producing now compared to when we first started mining here in Yukon Valley. Throughout today's episode, we completely filled Slucifer 3 separate times, hauled load after load of gold concentrate over to the gold cleaning rooms, and kept our gold smelters running almost non-stop. Every time we clean out the wash plant, our stockpile of gold continues to grow, and it's becoming more obvious that we're heading toward a massive payday at the end of November. As we're ending today's episode, we just finished hauling over our 3rd load of gold concentrate from Slucifer, and everything is once again back up and running. The gold cleaning rooms are processing concentrate, the smelters are producing more gold bars, and our mining fleet is already back to work moving more pay dirt through the Hillside Cut. Next episode, we'll continue expanding this excavation and see just how much more pay dirt we can move before winter arrives. We're getting closer and closer to the end of our first mining season, and with every bucket of material we dig out of this cut, that end-of-season gold sale keeps getting bigger and bigger. As always, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let me know down in the comments what you think we should do next. Should we add a 5th rock truck, invest in a 2nd wash plant, or start planning for an even larger mining operation in the future? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Welcome back to episode 19 of our Gold Mining from Scratch series here on the Yukon Valley 16X map. In the last episode, we continued pushing our $1 million gold wash plant to its limit as we race to mine as much gold as possible before winter arrives. Before jumping back into mining, we spent some time improving the operation by giving all of our equipment a much-needed wash and cleaning up the Hillside Cut with our Cat D7 dozer. After weeks of excavating, the cut had become littered with piles of pay dirt, so we leveled everything back out to make it much easier for our fleet of rock trucks to navigate through the mine. Once the cleanup was finished, we fired Slucifer back up and got all 4 of our Volvo A60H rock trucks back to work hauling pay dirt from the Hillside Cut. We also reached the end of another mining section and relocated our excavator to a brand new area of the cut, while creating a new auto drive route for all of our rock trucks. The new loading system continues to work incredibly well and has made loading trucks much faster and more efficient than ever before. Throughout the episode, we managed to completely fill Slucifer 3 separate times, hauling bucket after bucket of gold concentrate over to our gold cleaning rooms, where we continued producing even more gold jars and gold bars. Our stockpile of gold continues to grow with every episode as we hold on to everything we're mining while we wait for the end of November and what should be our biggest payday yet. Now it's time to fire everything back up once again and see just how much more gold we can pull out of the Hillside Cut before winter finally arrives. To kick things off today, we're actually going to do something a little different before we jump back into mining. Over the past several episodes, we've been completely focused on pushing as much pay dirt as possible through our $1 million wash plant. And now that we've made it to the middle of November, I think it's the perfect time to stop for a few minutes and see just how much gold we've actually produced. Ever since the beginning of November, I've been holding onto every single gold bar we've made instead of selling them right away. The goal is to continue stockpiling all of our gold until the very end of the month, and then sell everything at once for what should be by far the biggest payday we've ever had in this series. So far, that plan seems to be working incredibly well. At the moment, we already have 72 gold bars sitting outside of our gold smelters, but that's actually not the full amount we've produced. The spawn area in front of each smelter has reached its limit and can only hold 36 bars at a time, which means both smelters are completely backed up and there are still dozens of gold bars waiting inside to come out. Before we can continue producing more gold, we'll need to clear that entire area out. I'll start by loading every gold bar that's currently sitting in front of the smelters into the utility trailer behind our Can-Am Outlander 1000. As soon as those bars are moved out of the way, the remaining gold bars that have been waiting inside the smelters should immediately begin spawning in. And then we'll haul them over beside our gold cleaning room, where we'll begin creating one massive stockpile. If my math is correct, by the time we're finished unloading everything, we should have almost exactly 100 gold bars sitting in one giant pile. And that's only halfway through the month of November. Seeing that much gold piled up is really starting to put into perspective just how productive our operation has become. We've come a long way since starting this series with a handful of basic equipment, and now we're producing gold faster than ever before. But we're certainly not finished yet. The plan is to keep Slucifer running as much as possible for the remainder of November and continue adding to that stockpile every single day. Whether we eventually run out of time or we finally run out of pay dirt in the Hillside Cut, we're going to keep mining until one of those two things happens. The bigger that pile of gold becomes, the bigger our end-of-month payday is going to be. Once we finish clearing out the gold bars, I'll also check in on our gold cleaning rooms and load any completed gold jars into the smelters so they can immediately begin producing even more gold bars. With the entire gold processing chain emptied out and running again, we'll finally turn our attention back to the Hillside Cut and get another full day of mining underway. We'll start by driving the Can-Am Outlander 1000 back over to Slucifer and getting it parked beside the wash plant so it's ready to haul away the next load of gold concentrate. All of our mining equipment is exactly where we left it at the end of the last episode, and a few of our Volvo A60H rock trucks are actually still loaded with pay dirt. So we should be able to get the operation back up and running very quickly. I'll fire up the hopper feeder system, the radial stacker conveyor, and finally Slucifer itself. There's still some pay dirt inside the wash plant from the previous day, so it should begin producing more gold concentrate almost immediately. From there, I'll make my way around the Hillside Cut and fire up each one of our 4 Volvo A60H rock trucks before getting them back onto their auto drive routes. Once the trucks are cycling properly once again, I'll climb back into our massive Volvo EC950 excavator and begin loading each truck with pay dirt. They'll continue hauling those loads around the cut, driving up our haul road and unloading directly into the hopper feeder, where Slucifer will continue washing material around the clock. One of the biggest reasons our production has increased so dramatically over the past few episodes has been the changes we've made to the loading area inside the Hillside Cut. Instead of parking the excavator down beside the trucks, we now keep the Volvo EC950 positioned on top of the pay dirt while the rock trucks drive down into the excavated section below. That elevation difference makes it much easier to load each truck and allows me to reach a much larger area without constantly repositioning the excavator. Combined with the extra power and reach of the EC950, we've been moving an incredible amount of material every single day. Since introducing this new loading system, I've been steadily working my way through the Hillside Cut from south to north, mining one large section at a time. Last episode, we completed the first section and moved the entire operation farther north to begin excavating the second section. We've now made excellent progress through that area as well, and we're getting very close to reaching the end of it. Things are going to get a little tight as we finish mining this section because I don't have much room left between the excavator and the haul road, but once it's completely mined out, we'll shift everything north once again and begin opening up a third section of the cut. Even though we're moving more paid dirt than ever before, there's still an incredible amount of material left inside the Hillside Cut waiting to be mined. So let's get Slucifer fired back up, keep building our stockpile of gold, and see just how many more gold bars we can produce before winter finally arrives here in the Yukon Valley. If you're enjoying the Yukon Valley 16X gold mining series so far, make sure to like, drop a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up next. Well, we're now back to mining once again here in the Hillside Cut, and I'd have to say everything is running just about as smoothly as I could have hoped for. All four of our Volvo A60H rock trucks are cycling around the mine without any issues. Slucifer is continuously processing pay dirt, and we've already managed to move a tremendous amount of material so far today. We're still focused on excavating this second section of the cut, but we're getting very close to reaching the end of it. As I continue working my way farther north with the Volvo EC950 excavator, I'm also getting farther and farther away from the loading position that our rock trucks are currently driving to. It's starting to become a bit of a stretch to reach the trucks with the excavator, so before it begins slowing down our production, I'm going to take a few minutes to adjust our operation. I'll pause the mining for just a moment and create a brand new loading position in auto drive that's much closer to where I'm currently excavating. Once that's finished, I'll hop into each one of our four Volvo A60H rock trucks and update them to use the new loading point. It doesn't take very long to make these changes, but keeping the trucks positioned as close to the excavator as possible makes a huge difference in productivity. The less time I spend swinging and reaching for trucks, the more time I can spend loading them with pay dirt. Once all four trucks are updated and back on their new routes, we'll jump right back into the Volvo EC950 and continue working through the last bit of this second mining section. The goal is to get every bit of pay dirt excavated from this area before we relocate the operation once again. As soon as this section is finished, we'll move the excavator farther into the Hillside Cut, reposition the truck loading area, and officially begin opening up the third section of the mine. It's pretty amazing how much more efficient this mining operation has become over the past few episodes. With the new loading system, our upgraded excavator and four rock trucks working almost continuously, we're moving more pay dirt than ever before. Let's get these trucks reconfigured and see if we can finish mining out this entire second section of the Hillside Cut today. Well, it looks like we've managed to completely fill the sluice boxes on Slucifer for the very first time today, which means it's time to take a short break from excavating and get another load of gold concentrate hauled over to our mining camp. Judging by the line of Volvo A60H rock trucks waiting on the haul road, I'd say we've got a bit of a traffic jam building up as well. All four trucks are loaded with pay dirt and waiting their turn to unload into the hopper feeder. So before we head over to the wash plant, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that there aren't any trucks waiting beside the excavator and quickly clean up any pay dirt I've spilled while loading throughout the morning. Once that's cleaned up, I'll temporarily shut the wash plant down so we can safely open up the clean out and remove all of the buckets of gold concentrate that have accumulated inside the sluice boxes. As soon as we've emptied everything out, I'll get the clean out sealed back up and immediately fire Slucifer right back into operation. There's absolutely no reason to leave the plant sitting idle because we've got 4 full rock trucks waiting to unload, plus there's still a good amount of paid dirt sitting inside the hopper feeder, conveyors, and wash plant itself. The quicker we get Slucifer running again, the quicker we can get those trucks moving and continue producing even more gold concentrate. While the wash plant is processing those next loads of pay dirt, we'll haul today's concentrate back across the road to our mining camp where the gold cleaning rooms can get right back to work producing more gold jars. While we're over there, I'll also load any completed gold jars into our smelters so they can continue adding to our rapidly growing stockpile of gold bars. It's pretty satisfying watching the entire production chain working together now, from excavating the pay dirt to washing it, cleaning it, and finally smelting it into finished gold bars. By the time we finish managing everything over at the mining camp and make our way back to Slucifer, the wash plant should have already processed a large portion of the pay dirt from those waiting rock trucks. Before we jump back into the excavator, I'll quickly open the clean out one more time and collect the fresh batch of gold concentrate that was produced while we were away. That leaves us starting with completely empty sluice boxes once again, giving us maximum capacity before we have to stop mining for another clean out. From there, it'll be right back into the Volvo EC950 as we continue working through the second section of Hillside Cut and see if we can fill Slucifer all over again. Well, we've almost got this second section of the Hillside Cut completely mined out, but we're starting to run into one of the few downsides of our new loading system. As we get closer to the edge of this section, things are becoming pretty tight, and the rock trucks simply can't get any closer to where I'm excavating from while staying down in the lower loading area. Because of that, I think it's time to temporarily switch back to our old top loading method for these final few truckloads. The lower loading position has been a huge improvement and has dramatically increased our production. But at this point, we've reached the limit of how far I can comfortably excavate while still keeping the trucks below me. I also don't want to start mining away the haul road or the access ramps just yet, because we'll still need those to reach the next sections of the cut. My plan is to completely remove all of the pay dirt from the middle of the Hillside Cut first. And then once that's finished, we'll come back and mine all of the material that's currently supporting our haul roads and ramps around the outside edge. To make this work, I'll temporarily shut down all 4 of our Volvo A60H rock trucks and create a new loading position just before they begin driving down the ramp into the excavated area. That will force the trucks to stop and wait up on the upper level of the mine directly behind the excavator, allowing me to load them from above for these last few loads. It's not quite as efficient as the lower loading system, but for this small section, it'll be the quickest and safest way to finish things off. Once we've loaded the last couple truckloads and officially finish mining out Section 2, it'll be time for another major move inside the Hillside Cut. I'll reposition the Volvo EC950 over to the beginning of Section 3 and then temporarily stop all of the rock trucks once again while I update our auto drive routes. I'll create a brand new loading route that brings the trucks through the area we've just excavated, allowing them to drive right up beside the excavator in the perfect position to be loaded as we begin working through the next section of the mine. Every time we finish one of these sections, the operation becomes a little more efficient, and it's pretty satisfying seeing the mine continue to expand. We've already removed an incredible amount of pay dirt from the Hillside Cut, but there's still plenty of gold waiting to be uncovered. Let's get these final truckloads hauled out of Section 2 and then officially begin opening up the third section of our gold mine. Well, we've now officially finished mining out the second section of the Hillside Cut, and I'd have to say we've made some incredible progress over the past few episodes. With Section 2 now completely excavated, we've repositioned the entire operation over to the beginning of Section 3, and everything is set up and ready to continue pushing deeper into the mine. But just as we got everything moved into position, I noticed that Slucifer has stopped processing paid dirt once again, which can only mean one thing. The sluice boxes are completely full. Once I get this last Volvo A60H loaded up with pay dirt, we'll take a quick break from excavating and head over to the wash plant to keep our gold production moving. I'll temporarily shut Slucifer down so we can safely open up the cleanout and remove all of the buckets of gold concentrate that have accumulated inside the sluice boxes. As soon as everything has been unloaded, I'll seal the cleanout back up and immediately fire Slucifer right back into operation. We've got several loaded rock trucks waiting to unload, along with plenty of pay dirt still sitting inside the hopper feeder and conveyor system. So there's no reason to leave the wash plant sitting idle any longer than necessary. While Slucifer is busy processing those next truckloads, we'll haul today's gold concentrate back over to our mining camp and keep the rest of our production chain moving. I'll unload all of the concentrate into the gold cleaning rooms, collect any completed gold jars, and load them into our gold smelters so they can continue producing even more gold bars for our growing stockpile. By the time we return to the Hillside Cut, Slucifer should have already worked through a large portion of the material that's currently waiting in the system. Just like we've been doing throughout the month of November, I'll quickly open the cleanout one more time and collect all of the additional gold concentrate that was produced while we were away. That leaves us starting with completely empty sluice boxes once again, giving us maximum capacity before the next shutdown. From there, it'll be right back into the Volvo EC950 as we officially begin mining the third section of the Hillside Cut. With how efficiently this operation is running now, I think we've got a great chance of filling Slucifer for a third time before the day is over and continuing to build what is quickly becoming our biggest gold stockpile yet. Well, we've now managed to fill Slucifer for the third time today, and I'd say that a pretty good sign that our mining operation is becoming more efficient with every episode. I've already shut the wash plant down, completed another clean out, and delivered all of the gold concentrate over to our gold cleaning rooms. So now it's time to check in on the rest of our gold production. Things are looking fantastic over here at the mining camp. Our gold cleaning rooms are working almost non-stop now, and they're producing a steady stream of gold jars from all of the concentrate we've been mining today. Those gold jars are then making their way over to our gold smelters, which have been just as busy. Just from today's mining alone, it looks like we've already produced another 30 to 40 gold bars, and I've already refilled both smelters with another batch of gold jars. That means we've still got plenty more gold bars waiting to be produced even after we leave here. It's really satisfying to see the entire production chain working exactly as planned. Every bucket of concentrate we pull out of Slucifer eventually works its way through the cleaning rooms and into the smelters. And with the amount of pay dirt we're processing now, our stockpile of gold bars is growing faster than ever before. At this rate, I'm really excited to see just how much gold we'll have piled up by the time we finally reach the end of November. Since everything looks to be running perfectly over here, we'll head back across the road and get our mining operation underway once again. We may not have enough time left in the day to completely fill Slucifer for a fourth cleanout, but that certainly isn't going to stop us from mining. Every additional truckload of paid dirt we can process now is just going to add even more gold to our growing stockpile before winter arrives. With us now entering the final days of November, time is definitely starting to become our biggest challenge. The weather here in the Yukon can change very quickly, and at any moment winter could arrive, freezing the ground and bringing our wash plant operation to a complete stop. That's why I'm trying to make the most of every remaining day we have. As long as the weather holds out, Slucifer is going to keep running, the rock trucks are going to keep hauling, and the Volvo EC950 is going to keep pulling paid dirt out of the Hillside Cut. So let's climb back into the excavator, keep pushing our $1 million wash plant to its limits, and see just how much more gold we can add to our stockpile before year one finally comes to an end. I'd have to say this was another incredibly productive day here at our Yukon Valley gold mine. We started things off by checking in on our gold production and clearing out all of the gold bars that had built up in front of our smelters. After moving everything over beside our gold cleaning room, we officially hit an incredible milestone of right around 100 gold bars in our stockpile. And the best part is we're only about halfway through the month of November. From there, we fired Slucifer back up and got all 4 of our Volvo A60H rock trucks back to work hauling pay dirt from the Hillside Cut. Throughout today's episode, we managed to completely fill the sluice boxes 3 separate times, keeping our gold cleaning rooms and gold smelters running almost non-stop as we continued adding more and more gold to our growing stockpile. We also made some excellent progress inside the Hillside Cut itself. We officially finished mining out the second section of the cut and successfully moved our entire operation deeper into the mine to begin excavating the third section. It's amazing to see just how much material we've moved over the past few episodes. And with the Volvo EC950 excavator and our improved truck loading system, we're making faster progress than ever before. As this episode comes to an end, everything is once again running exactly as planned. Slucifer is back up and processing pay dirt. Our fleet of 4 Volvo A60H rock trucks is cycling smoothly around the mine, and our Volvo EC950 excavator is continuing to pull more pay dirt out of the Hillside Cut. Winter is getting dangerously close now, and every day that the weather holds out is another opportunity to mine more gold before the ground freezes and Slucifer is forced to shut down. Our goal remains the same. Keep building the biggest stockpile of gold we've ever had and set ourselves up for what should be the biggest payday of the entire series when we finally sell everything at the end of November. As always, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let me know down in the comments, how many gold bars do you think we'll have by the time November comes to an end, and how much money do you think our biggest payday yet is going to be? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Welcome back to episode 20 of our gold mining from scratch series here on the Yukon Valley 16X map. If you caught the last episode, then you may remember that we continued pushing our $1 million gold mining operation as hard as possible before winter arrives here in the Yukon. We started the day by checking in on our gold production and clearing all of the finished gold bars out of our gold smelters so we could continue building our massive stockpile for our end of November payday. By the end of the episode, we'd officially reached an incredible milestone of 150 gold bars in our growing stockpile. And that's with us only being about halfway through the month of November. Instead of selling any of our gold, we've continued stockpiling every single bar we produce with the goal of having our biggest payday of the entire series once November comes to an end. Back over at the Hillside Cut, our fleet of 4 Volvo A60H rock trucks and the massive Volvo EC950 excavator continued moving thousands of tons of pay dirt as we pushed Slucifer to its limits. Throughout the episode, we completely filled the wash plant 3 separate times, keeping our gold cleaning rooms and gold smelters running almost non-stop as they continued producing more gold jars and gold bars. We also reached another major milestone inside the mine itself. We officially finished mining out the second section of the Hillside Cut and moved our entire operation deeper into the mine to begin excavating the third section. With our improved loading system and the new Volvo EC950 excavator, we're now moving more material than ever before and making incredible progress through the Hillside Cut. Today we're picking things up right where we left off as we continue pushing Slucifer to its limits, build an even larger stockpile of gold and race against the clock before winter shuts our mining operation down. To kick things off today, we're going to be climbing right back into our massive Volvo EC950 excavator as we continue mining more pay dirt out of the Hillside Cut. Everything is already exactly where we left it at the end of the last episode. Slucifer is fired up and running. Our hopper feeder system and conveyors are already moving pay dirt through the wash plant, and all 4 of our Volvo A60H rock trucks are back out on their auto drive routes, continuously cycling between the excavator and the wash plant. That means we can jump straight back into the excavator and immediately get back to what we're here for, moving as much pay dirt as possible and continuing to build what is already becoming an incredible stockpile of gold before winter arrives here in the Yukon. Over the past few episodes, we've made some unbelievable progress inside the Hillside Cut. Thanks to our new loading system and the massive Volvo EC950 excavator, we're moving more material than ever before. We recently finished mining out the entire second section of cut and have now moved deeper into the mine, where we're currently excavating the third section. The new loading system has been a complete game changer. Instead of constantly repositioning the excavator, our rock trucks are able to drive right into the area we've already excavated, allowing us to load them much faster and keep Slucifer supplied with a steady stream of pay dirt throughout the entire day. With our first season here in Yukon Valley quickly coming to an end, we're now entering the final stretch of November, and that means every hour of mining has become incredibly valuable. Once winter rolls in and the ground freezes solid, our mining operation is going to come to a complete stop. Slucifer won't be able to process any more pay dirt, and we'll be forced to shut the entire mine down until spring returns. Because of that, every bucket of paid dirt we move today could make a real difference to our final payday. A few episodes ago, I set myself a challenge to spend the entire month of November doing nothing but mining and stockpiling every single ounce of gold we produced instead of selling it immediately. Since then, that's exactly what we've been doing. Day after day, we've kept Slucifer running almost non-stop, filling the sluice boxes over and over again, hauling countless buckets of gold concentrate back to our mining camp, and keeping our gold cleaning rooms and gold smelters working around the clock. Last episode, we reached an incredible milestone by building our stockpile up to more than 150 gold bars, and since then, we've continued mining even more pay dirt. By now, there should be another large batch of gold bars waiting for us once we finally decide to cash everything in. Before we head into town, though, I want to squeeze every last bit of production out of this mining season. Since we're running out of time before winter arrives, I've decided to do something we've never done before in this series. Rather than shutting the mine down when the sun goes down, we're going to keep the entire operation running through the night and pull our very first night shift here at the Yukon Valley Gold Mine. We'll speed time up a little bit, so we're not spending the entire episode in complete darkness, but our excavator, rock trucks, and wash plant are all going to continue working right through the night and into the following morning. Every extra truckload of pay dirt we can run through Slucifer before sunrise is going to produce more gold concentrate, more gold jars, and ultimately, even more gold bars to add to our growing stockpile. Once the sun comes up tomorrow morning, it'll finally be time to see what all of this hard work has been building toward. We'll head back over to the mining camp, collect every single gold bar that's been produced throughout the month of November, load them into our trailer, and make the trip into town to sell them all. I already know this is going to be the biggest payday we've ever had in this gold mining from scratch series, but I honestly have no idea just how much money we're about to make. That's probably what I'm most excited to find out. I'm also really curious to hear what you all think about the idea of running a night shift here at the mine. I think the lights from the equipment and the wash plant create a completely different atmosphere. And if you all enjoy it, I'd definitely like to do more nighttime mining in future episodes. We've got one final push before winter shuts everything down. So let's fire up the excavator, keep Slucifer running around the clock, and see just how much more gold we can add to our stockpile before we finally cash in on what should be the biggest payday in the history of this series. If you're enjoying the Yukon Valley 16X gold mining series so far, make sure to like, drop a comment, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up next. Well, it's only about 5:30 p.m. here in the Yukon Valley, but with it being so late in November, the sun has already disappeared behind the mountains and darkness has settled over the mine. It definitely creates a completely different atmosphere compared to mining during the day. All of our equipment is now running with its work lights on, The Volvo EC950 has the entire mining face lit up. Our fleet of Volvo A60H rock trucks can still easily make their way around the haul roads, and I even installed a couple of large floodlights around Slucifer and the unloading ramp. Those extra lights have made a huge difference, giving the truck drivers plenty of visibility as they unload into the hopper feeder system, and keeping the entire wash plant area well lit throughout the night. I have to say I'm really enjoying the look of the mine after dark. Between all of the lights reflecting off the equipment, the dust hanging in the air, and Slucifer continuing to process paved dirt in the background, it almost feels like an entirely different mining operation. Since winter is getting so close, I think running a night shift is definitely the right decision. Every extra hour that we can keep the wash plant running before everything freezes over is another opportunity to produce more gold. While we've been mining tonight, we also managed to completely fill the sluice boxes on Slucifer once again. So, I've already shut the plant down briefly, cleaned out all of the gold concentrate, and hauled it back over here to our gold cleaning rooms. The mining operation is already back up and running, which means Slucifer is once again processing another batch of pay dirt while we're taking care of our gold production. Now that we're over here, let's check in on everything. Our gold cleaning rooms have been hard at work processing all of that concentrate into gold jars, and by the looks of it, they've already produced another huge batch. I'll get every one of those jars loaded into our gold smelters so they can continue producing gold bars throughout the rest of the night. The goal is to keep every stage of our production chain running non-stop, so that by the time the sun comes up tomorrow morning, we'll have produced as many gold bars as possible before we finally load them all up and head into town for what should be the biggest payday we've ever had here in the Yukon Valley. It's now getting close to 11 p.m. here in the Yukon Valley, which means we're right in the middle of our very first night shift at the gold mine. I'd have to say everything has gone surprisingly well so far. Even working in complete darkness, all of our equipment has been running flawlessly. The floodlights around Slucifer have made a huge difference. Our Volvo A60H rock trucks are still cycling around the mine without any issues, and the Volvo EC950 excavator has continued loading truck after truck with pay dirt. We've also made some excellent progress inside the Hillside Cut. At this point, we're getting very close to completely mining out the third section of the cut. And if everything continues running as smoothly as it has been, I think there's a very good chance we'll have this entire section finished by the time the sun comes up tomorrow morning. That would be another huge milestone for our mining operation and would put us one step closer to completely excavating this Hillside Cut. The final few buckets of pay dirt are probably going to be the most challenging though. As we continue working our way deeper into the corner of this section, the space available for our rock trucks gets tighter and tighter. Before long, I'll likely have to switch back to top loading, just like we did at the end of the last episode. Loading the trucks from above isn't quite as efficient as loading them from the lower bench, but it's really the only way to reach those last pockets of pay dirt without tearing up the haul road before we're ready. Once this third section is finally complete, it's going to be time for another major change to the layout of the mine. Up until now, our rock trucks have been driving around the access roads that surround the Hillside Cut. But after this section is mined out, we'll have removed most of the material from the center of the cut. That means the next phase of mining will actually involve excavating those very access roads that the trucks have been using to get in and out of the pit. Before we can do that, I'll need to redesign quite a few of our auto drive routes and create an entirely new traffic pattern so the trucks can safely enter, load, and exit the mine without driving through areas that have already been excavated. That's a job for tomorrow though. For tonight, the plan is simple. Keep Slucifer running, keep the rock trucks moving, and continue pulling as much pay dirt out of the ground as possible. Every truckload we mine tonight means more gold concentrate, more gold bars, and an even bigger payday when we finally head into town tomorrow morning to cash everything in. Well, it looks like we've managed to completely fill Slucifer for the second time tonight already. It's currently just after 2 a.m. here in the Yukon Valley, and normally at this time we'd all be back at camp getting some sleep before another day of mining. Instead, we're still hard at work keeping this operation running around the clock, and I'd have to say this first ever night shift has been a huge success. I'll get Slucifer shut down for another quick clean out and unload all of the gold concentrate that we've produced since our last stop. Once everything is loaded up, we'll make our way back over to the mining camp and deliver another massive batch of concentrate to our gold cleaning rooms. Every clean out like this is another reminder of just how hard we've been pushing the wash plan over the past few weeks. And it's exciting knowing that every bucket of concentrate we're hauling back is eventually going to turn into even more gold bars. While we're over at the mining camp, we'll make our usual rounds through the gold production area. The gold cleaning rooms should have another large batch of gold jars waiting for us. And I'll make sure every one of them gets loaded into our gold smelters so they can continue producing gold bars throughout the rest of the night. Realistically, this will probably be our final opportunity to top up the smelters before tomorrow's big sale. We'll continue mining and producing more concentrate after this, but by the time Slucifer needs another clean out, the sun should already be coming up. And at that point, it'll finally be time to collect every gold bar we produce throughout the month of November and haul them into town for what should be the biggest payday we've ever had in this series. Even after we cash in all of those gold bars, though, our work here in the Yukon Valley won't be finished. The sale marks the end of our month-long stockpiling challenge, but it definitely doesn't mark the end of our mining season. As long as the weather cooperates and Slucifer can continue running, I plan to keep this operation going right up until winter forces us to shut everything down. Every extra truckload of pay dirt we can process before the ground freezes is more gold in the bank. So after tomorrow's sale, we'll be right back here in the Hillside Cut, pushing this mine to its limits for as long as Mother Nature allows. Well, the sun has finally risen once again here in the Yukon Valley, and that officially brings our very first night shift here at the gold mine to an end. I'd have to say it was a huge success. Everything ran incredibly smoothly throughout the night. We didn't have a single accident or major breakdown. And because of that, we were able to keep Slucifer running almost non-stop while continuing to mine and process paved dirt the entire night. Every extra hour we were able to keep the wash plant operating means even more gold concentrate, more gold bars, and an even bigger payday that's now just moments away. Before we head into town and finally cash in all of the gold we've been stockpiling throughout the month of November, there's one more job I'd like to take care of over here at the Hillside Cut. Overnight, we officially finished mining out the third section of the cut, which is another major milestone for our operation. With that section now completely excavated, it's time to start preparing the mine for the next phase of excavation. Up until now, our rock trucks have been driving around the access roads that surrounded the center of the Hillside Cut, but those roads are now sitting on top of valuable pay dirt that still needs to be mined. Before we can start excavating those areas, though, I'm going to have to completely redesign the traffic flow through the mine. I'll temporarily shut down all 4 of our Volvo A60H rock trucks while I remove most of the old auto drive routes and begin creating an entirely new haul road system. The new plan is to have all of our trucks enter and exit the pit from the south side. We already have our existing exit ramp located there, so all I need to do is build a second access ramp that the trucks can use to drive down into the bottom of the cut. Once they enter, they'll follow a new auto drive route around the floor of the excavation until they reach the loading area, where I'll be waiting with the Volvo EC950. After each truck is loaded with pay dirt, it'll continue around the bottom of the cut, climb back out using our existing exit ramp, and then rejoin the same haul route we've been using to deliver pay dirt over to Slucifer. Making this change should improve the operation quite a bit. Instead of driving around the upper access roads, all of our rock trucks will now remain down on the floor of the pit, leaving the entire upper perimeter open for the excavator. That means I'll finally be able to start mining out all of those old haul roads and recover the pay dirt that's been sitting underneath them for the past several episodes. It's another big step forward in opening up the Hillside Cut, and once everything is reconfigured, we'll finally be ready to head into town, sell our massive stockpile of gold bars, and find out just how much money an entire month of non-stop mining has earned us. Well, it looks like we've managed to completely fill Slucifer for the third time today. So I'd say we've definitely been keeping the wash plant busy. We'll take another short break from mining so I can shut the plant down, clean out the sluice boxes, and haul another large batch of gold concentrate back over to our gold cleaning rooms. Once everything has been unloaded over there, it'll finally be time for the moment we've been building toward for the entire month of November. Today's the day we're finally going to sell off our massive stockpile of gold bars. Last episode, we cleared out all of our gold smelters and started piling every gold bar we produced beside the gold cleaning rooms. At that point, we counted 150 gold bars, and since then we've spent an entire night shift continuing to push Slucifer around the clock. That means our gold cleaning rooms and gold smelters have been hard at work all night long, and I'm expecting we produced quite a few more gold bars since we last checked in. Once this latest batch of concentrate has been delivered, I'll fire up our Ford F350 that's waiting over at the mining camp with the gooseneck trailer already attached. We'll start by loading up all 150 gold bars that we stacked up during the last episode, and then we'll make one final stop over at our gold smelters to collect every new gold bar that's been produced throughout the night. By the time we're finished, that trailer should be absolutely packed with gold. From there, we'll make the drive into town and finally cash in every single gold bar we've spent the last month producing. This has been the biggest stockpiling challenge we've ever attempted in this series. And after weeks of non-stop mining, it's finally time to see if all of that hard work pays off. I honestly have no idea how much money we're about to make, but I do know one thing. This is going to be the biggest payday we've ever had here in the Yukon Valley. Wow, that was an absolutely unbelievable payday. After selling every single gold bar that we produced throughout the month of November, we ended up bringing in an incredible $8,300,000. I knew this was going to be our biggest payday yet, but I honestly wasn't expecting a number anywhere close to that. Once we finished loading all of the gold bars onto the gooseneck trailer, we ended up hauling 1,245,000 liters of gold. Since each gold bar holds 5,000 liters, that means we produced and sold an incredible 249 gold bars over the course of a single month. That's an unbelievable amount of gold. And it's amazing to finally see all of the hard work we've put in over the last several episodes pay off in such a massive way. It's also pretty incredible to look back at how far we've come since the beginning of this gold mining from scratch series here in the Yukon Valley. When we first started out over the Lone Wolf Creek Cut, every cleanout felt like a huge achievement, even though we were only producing a small fraction of what we're mining now. Fast forward to today, and we've built a $1 million wash plant, upgraded to a massive Volvo EC950 excavator, assembled a fleet of Volvo A60H rock trucks, and completely optimized our mining operation. Every improvement we've made over the course of this series has led to this moment. And I think it's safe to say we've built one incredibly efficient gold mining operation. Now, comes the exciting part, deciding what to do with $8.3 million. The first priority is still going to be finishing off the section of the Hillside Cut that we're currently mining. We've already made tremendous progress excavating this area, and I'd really like to see it completely mined out before we move on to the next chapter of this series. But after payday like this, I'm also starting to think much bigger. Rather than simply opening another small cut somewhere else on the map, I think it might be time to start prospecting for an entirely new mining site that could support a much larger operation in year 2. The Hillside Cut has taught us a lot over the past year. We've learned how to build efficient haul roads, how to optimize our auto drive routes, how to position the excavator for faster loading, and how to keep Slucifer running almost non-stop. I'd love to take everything we've learned here and apply it to a brand new mine that's even bigger, even more efficient, and capable of producing far more gold than we've ever imagined. But before we start spending all of this money, we still have one important job left to do. Winter is getting closer with every passing day, and until Mother Nature finally forces us to shut the mine down, we're going to keep doing exactly what got us here: filling rock trucks, feeding Slucifer, and pulling as much paid dirt out of the Hillside Cut as possible. Every extra ounce of gold we recover before the freeze sets and is only going to make year 2 an even bigger success. One incredible day it's been here at our Yukon Valley gold mine. We started things off by running our very first overnight shift, keeping Slucifer, our hopper feeder system, and all four of our Volvo A60H rock trucks working right through the night. I'd have to say the night shift was a complete success. Everything ran flawlessly, we didn't have any major breakdowns or accidents, and we managed to keep producing gold while most miners would normally be asleep. On top of that, we officially finished mining out the third section of the Hillside Cut and completely redesigned the traffic flow through the mine. Our new haul road system should make it much easier to continue excavating the remaining paved dirt from the access roads while keeping our rock trucks moving efficiently around the cut. Every episode, this mine seems to become a little more optimized, and it's really satisfying to see how much progress we've made since we first started digging here. Of course, the biggest moment of today's episode was finally cashing in on an entire month of hard work. After weeks of non-stop mining and stockpiling every single gold bar we produced, we finally hauled them all into town and sold the entire stockpile. The final numbers were honestly unbelievable. We ended up producing 249 gold bars, totaling over 1.24 million liters of gold. And that incredible stockpile earned us a massive $8,300,000 payday. Without question, that's the biggest payday we've ever had in this gold mining from scratch series, and it's amazing to finally see all of the hard work we put into expanding this operation pay off. Even after that massive sale, we're far from finished. Winter is getting closer every single day, but until Mother Nature finally shuts us down, we'll continue pushing this mining operation as hard as we possibly can. We've still got plenty of pay dirt left inside the Hillside Cut, and every truckload we mine before the freeze sets in is more gold that can help fund the future of this operation. Looking ahead to the next episode, we'll continue excavating the Hillside Cut using our newly redesigned haul roads and see just how much more pay dirt we can process before winter finally arrives. We'll also start thinking a little more seriously about the future. After bringing in $8.3 million, we've finally got the money to begin planning some major expansions for year 2. Whether that's opening a much larger cut, investing in even bigger equipment, or completely redesigning our mining operation, we've got some exciting decisions ahead of us. But that's going to do it for today's episode. As always, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let me know down in the comments. If you had $8.3 million to invest back into this gold mine, what would be the very first upgrade or expansion you'd like to see us make for year 2? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode.